Hey, welcome to another episode of Supadupa, the show. This is my podcast form discussion um, that I want to kind of start doing on a regular basis. I don't know, maybe a couple times a month, maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. It just kind of depends on how many of you guys actually watch this. I know that, most of you guys actually just kind of watch me for the reactions. That's what you guys want. That's what I'll continue doing. But there are some of you guys who kind of just support me more in general, which I really appreciate that too. And there's, I guess, been a few things that I've been really thinking about lately, and there's going to be more content on the channel, and I just kind of wanted to explain maybe why the content's going to be there, and maybe with you guys understanding a little bit more why I'm wanting to do the content that I'm doing, there could be like a different type of appreciation for it. But I guess to start off with, I've been thinking a lot lately, right? I've been going through a lot of things. For people that might be new to this, that don't know, and I repeat it a lot. I used to be part of the AMP theory, but I am a father of 5 children and a husband, and that responsibility of being the breadwinner of a family started conflicting when it came to time and everything, when it came to the podcast. So I mean, when it came to the AMP theory, so I had to kind of leave that and kind of do this on my own. And a lot of you guys have followed me from over there to over here, which I really do appreciate. And so that's kind of why I have this channel here. But the AMP theory also started off as a podcast, and it, we ended up finding this community, which is like the reaction community, the BTS community, the Army, Carrots, XOLs, Blinks, just the whole fandom just really, really opened their arms to us. And so because I had to do that and I had to leave, I tried to do this on my own. It didn't work out. And I feel like that was kind of like the start of everything. This very great accidental thing happened, and I was having so much fun, and I felt like life kind of was like, no, you can't have that, and so I had to take some time away from it. And in that time, I feel like I just got really bitter because I was doing things that I didn't want to do. I wanted to be a part of this reaction, like, part of the, I guess, content creator class or whatever it is. I wanted to do that, and I wasn't able to do that because of life. And it is what it is. My circumstances in my life are because of the decisions I've made, but I did end up getting really bitter in that. So, I'm 36 years old. I've entered midlife. I looked it up. And so I'm midlife, and I guess maybe going into a little bit of a midlife crisis. I just started kind of thinking about like just life and what it means and the things behind it, and like the things that we're forced to do and not to do, and the decisions we make, and everything just kind of started coming down on me. And in my journaling, in my introspection, in my meditations, I just kind of started pondering on the impermanence of life, right? And how everything really kind of doesn't matter, and not in a nihilistic way, not in a kind of giving up type of way, but really a lot of these frustrations and things that we go about at the end of the day when we die, like they kind of don't, they really don't matter. And I started just thinking about how quick things like life can be taken away. There's no guarantee of a long life. And then I just started thinking about how like my life in general is, I mean, everybody's life are like 1 in a million chance, right? That you're going to be born, but we made it. My parents are from 2 different parts of Mexico, and they met here in the US. So the chances of 2 people from 2 different parts of the country go to a whole nother country and meet, and then I'm born. I don't take that for granted. That's like, it's pretty crazy that I would be alive, And so like when it comes to this channel, and I was thinking, what I wanted to do with it, because I love reaction, and I feel like reactions are always going to be a part of this channel because that's what you guys come for, right? Like that's what you guys want to see from me, like that's what you guys are subscribing for. But in getting to know a whole bunch of different people, there are things that I am interested in, things that I've thought about, things that like I think, hey, with this platform that's given to me, like what do I want to do with that? What can I do with that? And because there was a time where I was thinking like, hey, that's it, I'm done, and life has turned around a little bit where I can do this a little bit more. But then the question still remains like, okay, reactions are fun. I can talk about the videos, I can enjoy the music, I can travel the world through the music, which is all great. That's what it does for me. And I know that you guys come for the reaction, so in some kind of type of way, there's something that's given to the viewer. But what do you do with a platform when you have a voice, right? And it might be a small voice, it may be nothing. Like a lot of people may not watch this podcast, which is fine. It's fine. But when I started thinking about life and in death, like what I wanted with my life is like, man, like I want to enjoy the works of art, the things that people have done before me. If you think about it, like so many people have lived and died, and some of those people have done like things that we would consider the greatest things of all time, right? And I want to indulge in those things, be it the greatest books ever written, the greatest arts ever done, the greatest movies ever made, right? The greatest stories, the greatest music, like just on a deeper level. Like if I get to enjoy this life one time, right? And if we believe in reincarnation, maybe millions of times or thousands or whatever, but you don't remember those past lives. So what I would like to be able to say when my time comes to an end is that like, I got to live many lives through indulging in these works of art and like partaking in them. Which brings me to my next point, which is something that I'm going to start doing on this channel. And I'm going to start doing like retellings and reactions to books. Because there's some great books. There's some people who, are great storytellers who have like dominated the use of words, putting them together, taking people through a journey, just masters of what is like the literary arts. And I want to be able to read those. And again, it's all part of like when I die, I want to be able to say, man, like I enjoyed the works of like 6,000 years ago to now, like the Epic of Gilgamesh to, I don't know, Twilight or something. I'm not sure, I'm not sure. But that's what I'm going to be doing for anybody that's interested in that. What I'm kind of thinking would be cool, right, is the first things I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the great literature of old. Right now, I'm actually finishing the book of Anna Karenina. I always say Karenina because like how you say in Spanish, but Karenina. Anna Karenina. I'm just finishing that book from Tolstoy, and that book was freaking crazy. And so one thing that I feel like I always am able to do when I kind of talk about it with my wife and my daughters, I can kind of retell these things in a silly way. So at the end of every book that I read, I'm going to retell it in my type of way. And then I'm just going to kind of give my reaction to it, my thoughts on the books and all that stuff. But also, what I'm thinking is on the next book, I'm going to let you guys know what book I'm going to be reading. And then if you guys want to read it together, we can have a live every week or 2 weeks or whatever, and just kind of have like a book club where I go live, you guys put the comments and we talk about it. Like, why not? Right? So that's one thing that I want to do. I'm also going to start interviewing people on this type of podcast platform. The first two people I'm going to interview are going to be J-Mac and Scott from the M Theory. And just kind of get better at my interviewing skills. Hopefully you guys could get to know them a little bit better. They're fellow reactors. They're from the Amp Theory. I have John Reeves that has agreed to do it, from John Reeves Live, and then also Blaze from What You Got to Say. I haven't asked the other couple guys, so I'm not gonna say that they'll be willing to do it, but that my hope is to get everybody from What You Got to Say to hopefully do that. But again, no pressure. I feel like I haven't even talked to them and I'm like doing this, so I'm just mentioning that I'm gonna get people on the podcast, but eventually I'm just gonna like start interviewing just artists, everything from fashion to painting to music to even education. I just want to interview people and give knowledge. And so that book club's gonna be the thing, the interviews is gonna be the thing. And like one thing, like I said, my parents are Mexican. They came over here at a young age. They met, I was born. But when I was real little, I didn't understand like things, just like everybody doesn't understand things. But I didn't understand why I had to do things like go to school. Like, and then as time progressed, it's like, what's a social security number? Why do I have to have that? Like, why? And I started questioning, like, because I saw this country as something that like was really new to me, because it was new to my parents. And like, they really didn't teach me, hey, this is why we do the things we do. This is why like certain things are done certain ways. Like that wasn't the way I was taught, because they were learning about it as well. So I question a lot of why things are the way that they are, which made me find a love for history. And then I started questioning everything. And there were things, because I also learned English and Spanish at the same time. There were certain insecurities that I had, that I made mistakes speaking English that always made me feel like I'm never gonna fuck up again, So I really like to dig into why things are the way they are. I like to be educated. But what I started realizing is like the more I educate myself, like trying to find like the meaning of life and why things are the way that they are, is I just get even more confused because like nobody's figured it out. And it's like I seem to be reading all these things wanting to figure out like the meaning of life. And again, like the more I read, the more confused I am, the more I realize I don't understand anything. So that's the kind of like the final thing that I want to say when it comes to like where this channel is going to be heading, is that I'm on a journey of just learning. And it goes back to what I started talking about in the beginning, like the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? And I've been searching and looking inwardly, outwardly, and that, along with reactions, along with everything, is going to be the main purpose of this channel. It's just figuring out more information, learning knowledge, trying to figure out what the meaning of life is, why things are the way that they are. And I'm going to package that all up in this channel. And I'm hoping that you guys go on this journey with me, because I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna look things up and I'm gonna make content about it. And hopefully you guys like it. And hopefully you continue coming for the reactions. I'm gonna continue dropping those, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah. So I mean, I wanted to talk about, that's just been on my mind. And I know that there's gonna be things dropping. They're gonna be other than reactions. I'm trying to figure out an editing style, because I'm doing everything here, right? I don't know if what should be best is just kind of bringing out as much content as possible, as long as like the visuals and the audios are good. Just kind of don't worry about it. I like to do a lot of pop-ups and a lot of GIFs and memes and all this stuff in my stuff, but it does take a lot of time. So I'm kind of on the fence if I should continue going on with those. Let me know if you guys enjoy those. I like doing little edits. I like doing things here and there, but for the most part, my stuff's pretty simple. And let me know if you can in the comments, like what book is one of the greatest books of all time and worth reading from good authors, and maybe I can pick it before, we start going into the book club thing, and I got to figure out how we're gonna how we're gonna do that, how we're gonna pick the book, get together, talk about it. I'm pretty excited to do that. That'd be pretty fun. And yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I really didn't come in with it other than just like the thoughts that I had in my mind, just saying, you know what, I gotta get these things out. I gotta let the people know, because I want to hopefully gain your support in things other than my reactions. Because, you know, I am not naive to understand that the reason why you come are for the actual artists, right? The actual people that are doing big things, be it the K-pop, being any other artist that has brought you to my channel. And so I'm aware that that's why you're here. But hopefully while you're here, you know, we can go on this journey together. Or maybe not together, but just be on the same mountain. So like one thing that I read somewhere, that I was talking to another one of my friends about, that left a big impression on me, is the fact that like when you're on the journey of life, when you're like looking, let's say enlightenment, when you're on the journey to enlightenment, and if enlightenment's on top of the mountain, everybody's on their own journey when it comes to reaching enlightenment. But along that path, our paths will cross, and we'll see each other, and we'll talk about it, and we'll just, you know, find that encouragement that we're still on our way to the peak of the mountain. And hopefully that's what we're doing. We're on our journeys, and, you know, we come and go. But you'll know that this post here, you'll always find Peter on his path, and then we can learn something from each other and continue going. Another idea that has been sticking with me is that we're just spirits having a human experience, you know. I've been really thinking about like the contemplation of like right and wrong, you know, and the concept of like God or the universe or luck. So I really feel like these three things are kind of like the same to different people. Like when you have people that believe in a God, I think that is also that the God, what they see as God is also like what New Age spiritualists see as like the universe, and what atheists just see as luck, you know. A lot of like, you know, let's say Christians think that, hey, like to get what I want, I'm going to do my part, but at the end of the day, like God has to bless me, which to me is the same concept as like a New Age spiritualist thinking like, hey, like I'm going to do my part, and try to manifest these things and do this energy. But at the end of the day, like I can only control what I can control, and the universe has to do the rest. And then with atheists, I feel like you do what you do, and then, you know, it's up to luck, right? Because I mean, let's just think about like writing a book. A lot of people write books, right? And a lot of people do all the right things to write great books, but some great books fall in between the cracks, but some make it to being some of the best works of all time, and has a lot to do with luck. So I kind of feel like these three things are kind of intertwined. And, you know, so I've been thinking about good and bad. What is good and bad, right? Like in the thought of good and bad, like, and of most people just want to be good. If you just thinking good and bad, then it's like to be all good would be to be like perfect. But what we know is that like humans can't be perfect. Like nobody's perfect. So then it's like, does that mean that you pick your bad? And like, are you choosing to be bad then? Like, is good and bad even like a way of having to look at things, right? Or things just are what they are? So like these are the type of questions that I've been having in my head that I want to have like a platform to be able to talk about. And it's going to be mostly questions. Like I don't even know if I have anything to say more than I just have questions that I need to think out. And I have to say them out loud for them to start kind of making sense in my mind. And maybe you guys have the same questions, or maybe you guys have the answers. I don't know. Maybe you guys can put something in the comments that'll make me think about things in a different way. But that's what I've been thinking about lately, just what good and bad is. God, the universe, or luck's play into what good and bad is. Do they even care? And does it even matter? Does it even matter? That's the question. So I'll leave y'all with that. And hopefully that's what this podcast does, is give those type of questions so that we can think about it, so we can talk about it, and that we can kind of like look at the book club and get together and just do more stuff, right? But please, if you guys can support me and this channel, it would be great. I would really appreciate that. I can't control that. All I can control is trying to put the best content out there as possible. May not be the best quality, but the more we grow, the more people I could get involved, the better quality things will be. And we'll have some fun doing it along the way. We'll learn some things, and we'll continue reacting and doing all that fun stuff. Guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. If you clicked on this and you're a real one, and if you're this far, you're definitely a real one, and I really appreciate that. I don't take it lightly at all. I really love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.